Okay, so now we've created these flow charts that show all the different things you have to define, the parameters, the hypothesis, how we check for random, for distribution, for normality, for independence, what formulas to use for our test statistic or for our interval, and what kind of conclusions we can draw. How do we decide which one to use? So when you're taking the AP exam, a couple things to know. How do you know which question is asking you to do the significance test on the free response? Well, first of all, there will be a paragraph for context telling you the problem. And then typically a blank page. So they know you need a lot of room. You're going to be doing a 4-step process. You're going to plan, you're going to state, then plan, then do, and then conclude. You need room. So you'll have the problem written out and then lots of empty space. The second way you'll know is most commonly it's going to be question number 4 or number 5. Not always, but it is looking back over the past 8 years, 6 out of the last 8 years, it's been one of these 2 questions. So that can help you. Another way is you're going to see these words. Do the data provide convincing evidence? So when you see this question, do the data provide convincing evidence, and some context around it, that's a hint to you you're doing some sort of inference test or significance test. So let's take a quick look at the different tests and how do you tell which one to use? And then I have a little exercise for you. So which significance test? The first thing you're looking for, is there a Minitab output? And let's take a look at what a Minitab output looks like. So this is just an example from our book, but this is a Minitab output. You will have your constant, you'll have your explanatory variable, your response variable, you'll have coefficient, standard error of the coefficient, your t-value, and your p-value. So that is a Minitab output. Okay, and so if there's a Minitab output, then you are dealing with linear regression. Okay, so that's what you'll have to do. So doing a t-test there. And you'll be looking at the slope, of course. Okay, is there a table of frequencies? So a table, two-way table it could be. So if you do have a table, you're doing some sort of chi-square test. We want to see how many samples or groups that we have. If you have one, then you want to check how many variables are you looking at. If it is just one, you're looking at a goodness of fit. You're comparing your data to some known distribution. If there's 2 variables, you're doing a chi-square test of independence. And if you had 2 or more samples or groups looking at a single variable, you're doing the chi-square test of homogeneity. Okay? So again, that's if you have a table of frequency. And so if none of those are true, so you don't have a Minitab, you don't have a table, then we've got to decide, are we dealing with proportions or means? If we're dealing with proportions, how many samples? 1 or 2? If it's 1, we're doing a 1 proportion z-test. If it's 2, a 2 proportion z-test. And then if we are dealing with means, we want to say if there's 1, then we're doing a 1 mean t-test. If there's 2, it's a 2 mean t-test. Thing to keep in mind is if it looks like there's 2 sets of data, but each data point is paired with another, then you are doing a 1 mean t-test for paired data. Okay? But that's how we decide what it is we are doing, what type of significance test. So although it may seem like there's an overwhelming number, it's pretty straightforward if you just start thinking through what possible test would work for this set of data. Okay? So go ahead and give the exercise a try. Take care.